Hello everybody, today we're going to do Alien from Quiet Life, and it's a request. I forget who asked for it, but we'll do what we always do. I'm going to play along the various different bits and then I'll show you what he did. This is such a fun one, and I thought I'd done it before and deleted it because I deleted a load of stuff years ago, but I didn't. This is all new to me as well, so let's play along bit by bit and I'll show you what he's doing. Okay, so what he's doing there is you're going to start on the second fret of the A string, and if you bridge across, actually, you can catch the next note without moving any fingers. So the next note is you start on the second fret of the A string of the G string and slide up 2 frets to the 4th fret. So. Okay, can you see that? So from the 2nd fret of the A string to the 2nd fret on the G string and slide up to the 4th fret of the G string. Now, this next bit is kind of deceptive, right? He's playing an open D, and then to the hammers on to the 4th fret of the D string. And off again. So open D, hammer onto the 4th and back off. And then the next note is open A and hammer onto the B again. So hammer onto the 2nd fret. And then to the 2nd fret on the E string. Oh, so okay, so from the top. Okay. Isn't it great? And every third, so that happens 8 times at the start. But the 3rd time and the 6th time, so like two groups of 4. The 3rd time, the first note comes in a bit quicker. So it's down, 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 down. There's a little push to that B, and if you listen, you'll hear it. Okay, so that's the 4th section. That's a good start. As always, practice it until you have it perfect, and then we'll move on to the next bit. Okay, so what's he doing? Well, it's the usual crack at Mick Karn, isn't it? What he's doing is not what you think he's doing. What he's doing is not what you or I would do. So even though we had this, we started in B down here. For this, we're going to start B here on the 7th fret on the E string. And the reason we're going to do that is that the next note is the 7th fret on the G string. And I don't think he did that. It sounds fatter here, this note. Anyway, so the first note is the B on the 7th fret of the E string. 7th fret on the E string. 7th fret on the G string. And then 2 open strings, the D and the D and the A. And this again, a common Mick Karn thing. The first one's nearly just percussion. So it's right? And we're going to hammer on from the open string of the A to the 2nd fret on the A. All right? And some of them are like that, just a single. But that's where we're going. Okay, so 7th fret on the E string, 7th fret on the G string. Open D, kind of percussive. Try not to get a harmonic. Open A. So, boom, ba, ba, boom. That's a hammer on from the open A to the B. and then an F sharp, which is the second fret on the E string. So again, from the top. Okay, now here's the fun bit. This took me forever to figure out. Because he's hammering on, there's a lot of harmonic content, and you kind of think it's coming from here. Your ear nearly tells you it's from here, but it's not. There's a lot of reasons why that's happening, why your ear thinks that's what it is. Right? But there's a certain part of the song that when you slow it down enough, you can actually hear the open string. So what he's actually doing here, this part, right? What he's doing there is he's open D. I know. Open D to hammer on to the 9th on the D. And then an open G to hammer on to the 11th on the G. Now, I remember years ago seeing one of these Starlicks videos, you know, before people did this stuff on YouTube, you bought Starlicks videos. And it was Chuck Rainey talking about he'd be playing, say, in C sharp, and that he'd sneak in the E, even if even if it wasn't in the key, or say he was playing in whatever, in E flat, he'd sneak in the E, because people, even though it was the wrong note, people could, your brain recorrected it, you know what I mean, to be in the context of the rest of the notes, and he'd get away with it. And this is the same, right? So it's, to get that up to speed is going to take you a little while. And what I would suggest you do is download one of these practice aids. Like I use Best Practice, slow the thing down, and it's. But the trick is to have the open strings, those notes, pretty short, because it's really quick. So from the top. Okay, so there's your verse part. Isn't it fabulous? He's just brilliant, man. Yeah, I saw an article yesterday, scanned and uploaded onto Team Karn or one of these things on Facebook, and he was saying a lot of the things that we've been saying, that we worked out. He was saying in this interview that, you know, it's not that he particularly plays fast, it's just that his use of open strings and things makes him sound fast, and that ties in with what we've been figuring out, reverse engineering these lines, this absolutely wonderful player. Right, so let's move on. The next bit is the chorus, and then we've only one more bit. Chorus is actually nice and handy, and again there's some deceptive stuff, so stuff we think we hear that on closer inspection probably isn't there. So we're going to start again on B, and next note again, Mick Karn's trick of using open strings, open D, and then we're going to go to the 4th fret on the D, so like that. Okay, that timing. Now, what he does next is he slides up to the 11th fret and down to the 9th. So from the top. That's now that we clear the weather. Now, when I used to listen to that, I'm still not even sure. Sometimes Mick would double track bass parts and put harmony bass parts in. It does, on some parts it does feel like there's this there under it, but he doesn't do it live, so I'm going to leave it off here. However, if you want to do it, you make your kind of chord shape here, right? So your first finger on the 11th fret on the D, and then your second finger on the 12th fret of the A, and slide that whole shape down 2 frets. And that's why I don't think it's really there. I think it's something else is doing it, or it's some sort of overtone, because it's so simple to do. He would have done it live if it was there. I can't see that he wouldn't. So again, going with the live version, it isn't there. Okay, so from the top, and then the start of the next part is the same as the start, but this time only two notes change, and we're going to the 7th fret of the D string to slide to the 5th. Okay, and then the first part again. That's over. Now that we're together. And so Mick Karn of the time to move to the, I think it's the 3rd of the chord. So he's sliding up from the 8th to the 9th and back to the 8th again, back and forth on the D string. So now that we're together, and then to the 6th fret, feel so yeah. All right, so I'll show you that slow. Back to the 6th fret. Okay, so that's the verse. I'll do it one more time from the top. Might be another one there. No. Anyway, there's your chorus. Okay, so all that remains now is the middle part where it breaks down over kind of over an E, and or is it an E minor? I'll have to listen. Anyway, there's loads of little riffs and things there just before David Sylvian sings "Voice on the stairs disturbs me, somebody come walks my way," over that bit, and we got the little slide up. I think what we'll do is we'll play it and I'll go through each of those little riffs as we go, and I'll give you the time. I'll give you the time stamp and show you what he's doing. Okay, here's the first one. Isn't that great? Will it go one more time? Okay, so what he's doing over there is so I don't think it's there because again that's a thinner string, isn't it? Okay, so this is that timestamp around 2:38. Okay, so we're going to start on the E string on the 7th fret. You can slide up to it if you want. I think it's a slide. And then we're going to hit the E string on the 7th fret on the A string. So 7th fret on the E string, 7th fret on the A string. And then we're going to play the same shape on the 4th fret on the A string and the E string. So 4th fret, E string and A string. So we'll start again. And then the next part is kind of, if you play guitar, it's like the top of a G chord. Your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the E string to the 2nd fret of the A string to the open E. So what that is, that's the first one, okay? This is at 2:42 and around there. He's sliding from the B on the 2nd fret of the A string up to the 7th fret of the A string, and then an open E, and it's in time with the drums. This whole album, man, amazing. So he's going. That's simple enough, all right? So slow from the 7th fret, 2nd fret on the A string, up to the 7th fret. And it's more the timing of that. Just have a listen to the original. And like I say, don't be afraid to pull down a practice tool and slow it right down until you can play along with it. Really simple, but very effective. Let's move on. Okay. Okay, so what's happening there? It's kind of hard. It's hard to figure out the timing and take a chunk of it out there. So, but the riff is on the 11th fret on the G string. You're going to slide to the 12th fret on the G string, and then you're going to do the same from the 11th on the D string to the 12th, and then you're going to slide from the 12th to the 14th on the D. You're going to hit the 14th on the A string and an open E. So from the top, 11 to 12 on the G, 11 to 12 on the D, 12 to 14 on the D, 14 on the A, open E. And then just in the background there's this raggy where it's real quiet, where he's sliding, say, I think it's the 5th to the 7th fret on the A. So from the top, see, oftentimes these things are really hard to count and break down because he wasn't counting, or he was just, playing what came to him in the moment. And when you go to reverse engineer those things, they're almost harder to do because of that. I know it seems like a mad thing to say. Anyway, that's that next bit. Let's move on. Okay, that has really been wrecking my head. But again, it's simple. It's just a case of hearing it rather than trying to count it. So what he's playing is the 2nd fret on the A string and the 4th fret on the G string, which of course is your octave, right? Slides that up to the 4th fret on the A string and the 6th fret on the G. And then there's this kind of, he goes to the G string, the 8th fret and the 9th fret, and an open E. So noise on the stairs. And again, play along to get the time out of that. I think there's only one more. Okay, that's a nice handy one. It's just 7th fret on the A string and the open E string. We get to the hardest kind of slide thing now. Again, to try to get it accurate is going to be tricky because you got to count, where the notes hit as you go up, or you can just do what he did and wing it and play a slide. Okay, which we know from him doing live that it wasn't as accurate as all that. Let's do the last piece. I think that's my favorite bit. Okay, so what he's doing there is the A note on the E string, which is the 5th fret on the E, the octave, which is the 7th fret on the D, so do your octave first. So slide up one and then up one again. So you're on the 6th fret you're on the 8th fret on the D, and we're going to slide up to the 9th fret on the D, and 2 on that. So it's from the top, so we go again, 5th fret on the E string to the 7th fret on the A, slide up one to the 8th, and then 2 on the 9th. Okay, that is Alien. What an epic tune. I've actually loved doing this one. It was probably the toughest one yet to figure out. But again, the more of this guy's work I reverse engineer, the more admiration I have for him, and the more I believe that he's a truly underrated voice in the bass community. Absolutely incredible player. That's Alien from the Quiet Life CD, which is actually one of my Desert Island discs. If I could only have a handful of records to play for the rest of my life, Quiet Life would be one of them. It's an absolute masterpiece. If you haven't got it, get it. And thanks again for watching. Any questions, put them in the comments below. And also any requests, though I have a backlog of requests to get through. And some of them I'm kind of slower to get involved in because they're hard. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.